Does anyone else know the feeling when you order alcohol online and then the delivery guy comes and drops it off at your door and they're supposed to card you, and then he looks at you and he's like, "You seem fine." And so then you give yourself bangs. So, welcome to another episode of the Okayest Knitter, a knitting podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to set my drink down. Today is April 23rd. It's Friday, and I am sitting in my newly furnished knitting nook. I'm sure that I will have a little video or picture towards the end of the video of what it looks like. It's not much. It's basically a couch and a TV and a drink cart. And that's pretty much where I am right now with it. So I'm very excited. It's a lovely green velvet couch that we got from Wayfair that I've always wanted. I have been away for a couple of weeks. During that time, I have been knitting on some items that were from the previous podcast. So thanks if you're a new joiner, like I'm a cult or whatever. If you're a new watcher, thank you for coming and watching my video today. My name is Sarah. I am the Okayest Knitter. I am coming to you from Western Montana, and we'll go over some of my finished projects, but mostly it's just a WIP parade, you guys. I have like knitting ADD. I think I have speaking concerns today as well because I haven't done this in a very long time, so bear with me. Okay, so shall we just jump right into it or what? So I kind of brought this up last time, but I have completed in air quotes because I bound off, Stephen West's Slipstavaganza. And the reason why I say completed is in air quotes is because with these last section here with the chevrons, I literally only did one section of it. I think you're supposed to have like 4 or 5 of these color chevrons, and I just was so done. But anyway, I finally finished this. I have a post about it on my Instagram, which is Sarah Spencer Knits. Sarah Spencer Knits. Okay. And I have several things to say about this. At first it was a joy to knit, and then it wasn't. And I will say it was a joy to knit because of the sections, and then it wasn't a joy to knit because I started to hate the colors I chose. And I don't know what it's called, but I just was so disenfranchised with these colors. I could not be bothered to knit on it. It actually pained me that I was knitting this and not something else where I was enjoying the colors. My original intent was for this to be a Hogwarts, Harry Potter inspired project because, let me scooch up here, because the main color I chose is this color, is Common Room by Lolodidit. It was like a limited release that my brother-in-law got me for Christmas this year. And then I chose so from this Common Room, I chose the 4 Common Room colors. So the yellow, red, green, and blue, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? No, because it looks like a primary color crayon, Crayola mess here in the middle. All of that being said, I do love the finished object now. So hopefully the more I wear it, the more I'll love it. It's very nice. It's very big, even though I didn't do the full the full chevrons at the bottom, it's still quite large. So really, really, really enjoying that. Today I'm wearing my Burn the System, which is against police brutality t-shirt by a local artist, local to me artist. And I would say that that's quite fitting. Anyhow, so this is my first shawl that I've ever made, and I haven't quite figured out, like, I know Stephen West has like a video of like how to put it on, but let's be real, they are so flippin' graceful and marvelous that the way they put it on, I just can't figure it out. So I don't know. I may or may not wear this for the rest. I probably won't wear it for the rest, but super enjoyed the finished object, but not the process. So I did knit this on my interchangeable Addy click needles. It's knit on, I think, a US 4. Someone can fact check me on that. I would like to say I will fact check myself on that, but I'm not really positive. So I am also enjoying a beverage this afternoon. It is about 4:30 where I am, and I'm having an Aperol spritz. So if you would like to join me and have a beverage, please do so. I'll try to keep the slurping sounds to a minimum, but it is delightful. Now, I have a couple other finished objects, but before I go on to that, I do want to just quickly mention the cost of the yarn in this shawl. The only skein of yarn that I used the full skein for was this common room, and that was a gift, so that was free yarn to me. However, I believe it was probably like a $32 purchase for my brother-in-law. The other yarns, this red is Sriracha by Lolodidit, and it's got stellina in it, so it was $30. And then the other colors, the green, yellow, and blue, were all $28 a skein. And I did not use the full skeins of the remaining colors. So of the contrast colors, I did not use those remaining skeins. So not a cheap project. Extremely soft, extremely cozy. But I don't know that I would make another one of these. I do have shawls in my future though, and I'll get to that. Okay, now other finished objects. I am very excited to share a finished object of something I test knit, and I don't know if I've shown this before. Time has no meaning. We're in the middle of a pandemic, a Panda Express, a Panini. What are the other ones? I don't know. A paramedic. I don't know. Comment below what your favorite alternative word for pandemic is. Okay, so the next finished object I have to show to you is a test knit. I test knit this for the marvelous, the incomparable, the fabulous Miss Jodi Brown, Mrs. Brown's Bags. This is the Mount Jasper, and I've knit this holding 2 strands of Hue Loco fingering weight 80-20 together, and these were the leftovers from my City Limits sweater that I've previously finished. So trying to use up all my bits and bobs from that sweater. It is an extremely cozy hat. It's very slouchy. This is a pom-pom. It's a snap pom-pom, and this is from Vivid Yarn Studio. So you can see it's a very slouchy hat. It's super cozy. Let's see if I can finagle it in the way I want. So I like this hat. I like it a lot. It is super warm, especially because I used 2 fingering weight yarns held together. And I apologize if you just heard my heater kit gone, because when it's April in Montana, sometimes it's 70 degrees and sometimes it's 32 degrees. You just never know. You never know. Also, I hope my video looks a lot better than last time because I got a new phone. In my previous videos, I think a lot of times there was like a little glare, and that's because my screen was cracked to shit. So hopefully the video quality is much better. But anyway, all I have to say is I love testing this pattern. I always love testing for Jodi. This is the 3rd test knit I've done for her, and all of her hat patterns are very easy to understand. Mount Jasper actually has 2 versions. I believe this is a version 1. The other version has it where you keep this brim color and you carry it up here, and then these little ridges are contrasting colors. Perfect for minis or whatever you have going on. So highly recommend. Super enjoyable knit. Definitely a lovely palette cleanser after the Slipstavaganza. I know I keep going back to how much it was a pain for me to make, but I truly do love it. So it's just sometimes you want just to knit things that are easy and enjoyable. I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to stop talking about it because the more I talk about it, the worse it sounds. If you like the finished object, knit the thing. That's all I should say. Okay, now I have another finished object, which is a hat, and this is the Oslo Hat by Petite Knits, and this is a paid for pattern. All of these patterns sadly are paid for patterns. Not sadly, really happily are paid for patterns. And because they go to the designer and the designer makes money and da 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 da. However, if this is not within your budget, I'm sure if you look online, you can find something comparable for free if it's not within your budget to purchase. But I think that this was like a $5 pattern, $4 pattern, which is quite expensive for a hat. Anyway, so this is the Oslo Hat. This is what it looks like unfolded, with the brim unfolded. Again, I've knit this in Hue Loco in 2 strands of the fingering. I'll double. You can see that it's again in that Mum's Sleigh fade yarn. I've used a couple different of the colors in it. See if it'll focus. Focus. Whatever. It's not going to focus. And I still have probably another 200 grams of this fade set on my shelf. I haven't quite figured out how I like to wear hats with my bangs yet, but I really enjoy this hat because even though there's no ribbing in this, it is super cozy. So it's folded, so this is 2 layers plus another 3rd layer. So this is 3 layers of squishy, cozy yarn, and it's made a little bit tall, so I feel like super hip. So I could go like this. I'd be a hip youth. Any other youths out there? No. I watch too much TikTok. I watch way too much TikTok. TikTok is what convinced me that my side part and was harsh and that I needed bangs after my sad carding experience earlier. It's okay. I'm fine. So anyway, the Oslo by Petite Knits. Super easy. I think this is my 3rd or 4th hat I've made from this pattern. Really like it, and I actually will talk a little bit more about plans for future Oslo hats here in a little while. But before I do that, I feel compelled. Oh, no, there's another finished object that I already gave away as a gift that I should talk about. and it was a little sweater for a dear friend of mine. And I'll try and insert a photo of it here. And I made that with Hue Loco yarn. And this is a fingering weight sweater, which was not my favorite. However, it's a baby knit, and so it didn't take too long. The only thing is that I can't remember what the name of the pattern is. But it came in like a set of like other, like a clothing set for babies. So it had like pants and blah, 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 blah. I'll look it up. I will look it up. So, and I'll include it here below. But until then, I have a parade of WIPs. A WIP parade, if you will. So you may recall, if you've been here before, that I had purchased some of this Drops Air from Espace Tricot, which is a very affordable yarn. It's super light. I purchased it so that I can make the Turtledove 2. So this is the called for yarn. The Turtledove 2 is a free pattern by, you can find it at Espace Tricot, but it's by Melissa Clulo. Sorry, Melissa. I tried. I pronounced it several different ways, and I hope one of them is correct. Okay, so this is where I'm at. So I've got, it has a lovely twisted rib neck, and I've knit the increases for a drop sleeve. It's got a really nice increase the way that they do this, and this is a free pattern. So you increase every other row here and every fourth row for the sleeves, and so that's what creates this drop sleeve. And then I've done half of a split hem, so I'm going to do the version 2 where it's a split hem. And then you can see on the back I have held the stitches for the back, so I just have this back hem, which will be 1 inch longer than the front, and then 2 sleeves, and I'll be done. And I did a little try on of this, and this is not for me. If it's me, wonderfully. So I almost hope that the person I'm making this for doesn't like it, so then I can have it, because I want it. It's for my mom. So you might see I have like fuzzies on my shirt, and it's because I put this on for a try on. So again, love it. It is so soft and fluffy. Some people don't like alpaca. They think it's scratchy, but I think it's really soft. I'll just stay here forever. Okay. And it's kind of blown in. I don't know if you can see. I'll see if it'll focus. But it's kind of blown into like a nylon type of thing. It's very comparable to Luft yarn. If anyone has ever seen it, I've seen it. I've not purchased it because it's ridiculous. So anyway, sorry. I sipped in some ice on that sip. Okay. Now, can you believe that I would be test knitting another item? And this time it's not for Jodi Brown. This is a test knit for the Stitchin Witch, or the Stitch Witch, and you can find them on Instagram. But this is a test knit for the Sandlot sweater. So I'm really excited. I don't want to give too much away because it's going to be a pay for pattern, but basically it's 2 panels joined in the round and knit up. So I've knit 13 inches from where I joined in the round, and now I'm going to start to do some increases for the chest, or some decreases for the chest. So this is my first bottom up sweater. That's a lie. I did make the Bolt Mini Me, and that was a bottom up and seamed sweater, which was not my favorite, but I like this one because it's joined in the round eventually. So far so good. I got gauge. I cast it on. It's a DK weight pattern. And I cast on with Hue Loco Unicorn Hideout for my main color. And the sweater, it's inspired by the Sandlot, the movie. And if you don't know what that is, you're killing me, Smalls. So basically it's a baseball inspired sweater. So it's going to have decreases here and then a contrasting sleeve, like a 3/4 length sleeve. So the sleeve is going to be in this cracked pepper color from Hue Loco. So I think that's going to look really nice and interesting, these two colors together. But I really enjoy this Unicorn Hideout. I like how the variegated grays with like the speckled rainbows. I have been alternating skeins this whole time. And I've kind of reached a point up here where it's a lot more gray and a lot less rainbow. And I'm kind of nervous about it because it's very rainbow down here, even though I'm alternating skeins. I think that's okay. It's definitely noticeable on the camera. Like it's 100% noticeable. But whether or not it's going to bother me is yet to be determined. So all of that being said, I don't know about any of you folks, but I played softball like from the time that I was allowed to play softball all the way through high school. And what they used to do is you used to have iron-on patches for your jerseys. And so I went on a bit of an iron-on patch craze on Etsy because I thought with this baseball sweater, how cool would it be to have an iron-on patch? I just kind of flashed it to you. But look what I found. Can you even believe? So it's like a UFO. It says, if chosen, remain calm. And then it says, encounters happen, make them safe. I love it. It was $12. Let me see, I wrote it down. Yeah, it was $12. It's a huge patch. I also I got some other patches that I'll just touch on now since I'm talking about patches. But I got some other patches because I thought I would make Oslo hats and then put patches on the brims. And so I'm going to show you some of my other patches I got. I got this one. It's a bat. See, hide my face. And it says, stay spooky. And then I have this one, possibly my favorite. Future Ghost. So those are exciting to me. All right, I'm slowly piling things up here. And I have one more WIP. I have one more WIP because I have knitting ADD, which I mentioned earlier, and nothing's satisfying really. Test knitting is fun, but sometimes it is very hard because you know, different schematics come out, and you know, you might find something in the pattern, you have to stop and really think about it. So it's not like that fully proofed pattern that you're just breezing right through. So I've been trying really, I'm just trying to find some ease. That being said, I decided, I've made a little bit of a big mess over here. But I'm going to show you. I love to make stuffies. And I bought this pattern a long time ago. It's the, I swear I wrote it down. Anyway, it's the Figaro frog pattern, and this is by Susan Claudino. And basically it's a frog. I first saw this pattern on Amber Lindemann's Yarn Hoarder podcast, where she knit this frog. And I immediately bought the pattern then. So that's been a couple of years, at least 1 year since she showed it on the podcast. And so I have 2 legs here. And when I tell you that these legs look inappropriate, they're a little inappropriate, are they not? Hmm? Anyway, so I've got 2 legs, and then I started on a toe. In the pattern it says to make all the toes and then make all the legs. So you have to make 4 of these. I did not make all the toes because I don't want to just make a bunch of balls. Maybe I do. So I am making them out of some leftover of the Lolodidit from my Slipstavaganza, so I'm holding that together. And this is You're a Mean One by Amanda Knits in her lace weight. I didn't recognize that it was lace weight when I bought it. So I'm holding 2 strands of You're a Mean One together with whatever color this one is from Lolodidit. So Amanda Knits and Lolodidit are going to make Figaro the frog. Okay, shall we switch it up to acquisitions? Shall we? Shall we take a drink break? Did you make a drink? What do you drink when you're knitting? Do you not drink? So, okay. So I have some very, very exciting clubs, and then I have some sort of exciting purchases. I don't know if I showed this book last time, so I apologize if I did. But this is the self-striping yarn book, which I bought because I literally own 1 skein of self-striping yarn. And I thought, I need the book. There's lots of really cool patterns in here. The one that I really want to make, let's see if I can find it. Is this one. Isn't that cool? I really like it. Sock arms. Cardigan. It's not a new pattern. I feel like the person who wrote this pattern, or wrote this book, has like another sock arms thing that you can buy individually. But anyway, so that's the book. And on to some clubs. So I ordered from Les Garçons, Max the Knitter, and Designed by Dells, or Dyed by Dells. I ordered his Dark Materials Club. His Dark Materials is a series of books, but it's also a TV show on HBO. And this is not a cheap club. It is a splurge. So it's 3 months, and it cost me $270 Canadian, whatever that equals out to. But these are month 1 and month 2. These should not be spoilers because I'm way behind on the game. But this is inspired by Lyra. This one is inspired by Coram. And I really, really, really love these colors. I'm very inspired to knit shawls out of these because I would really like to have the fingering weight and the So the yarn that's inspired by the individual and the yarn that is inspired by the demon, I would like to have them incorporated in the same shawl, which has me looking at some Joji Locatelli shawls, because she has some shawls that include different yarn weights. Quorum's coat is super luscious, I will say. So it is a 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. I love it. Who would have thought yak and me? I think that I think it's Kid Surrey or Surrey alpaca. Surrey alpaca, the demon color. I think it's kind of my hair color. Is it not? No. And they've come each with really cute stitch markers, progress keepers. So really, really looking forward to knitting with those. I also purchased, so this is the Huloko yarn that I made a baby sweater out of. So I already skeined up one of these, and this is in the Earl Grey color. So I already skeined up and used one of these, Earl Grey. There's some babies coming into my family's life, and so I plan on making some baby knits. And this is the ochre color, which is to die for. I think this is a very baby palette, right? Like very neutral palette for baby knits is these colors, which I really, really love. This is Snowshoe. This is just the white. So really, really love these. Will they be baby knits? Will they be something else? Will they sit on my shelf? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What's anything for anyway? So these next things that I've gotten, I want to say were purchased with a sober mind, but I can't really defend myself. So these are again Huloko. So I thought with my Oslo hat idea, I thought how cool would it be with my gothy type iron-on patches to have really bright colored hats. So this is Poppy and this is Fuchsia. I really like fuchsia. I like pinks. This orange I think is very cool as well. I don't know if it quite goes with, but I like the pink a lot. For a hat, can you imagine? So I think I'll use these for Oslo hats. But again, they might be used for something else. Who knows? I always have plans. I've talked about them in the past. I still plan on doing all the things I've talked about in the past. It's just there's other shiny, new, and beautiful things that come up in the meantime. So it makes it hard. Makes it so hard, you guys. So I think that that's just about everything that I have. Some things that I've been watching. I can talk a little bit about that. I have been watching only Gardener's World. Gardener's World from BritBox is a weekly show hosted by Monty Don, which I've watched for a while. I watched last year and I'm starting this year. And they have an episode that comes out Fridays in the UK, and then I have to slowly wait for them to come out here in the US. And it hurts my feelings when it doesn't come out when I expect it's going to come out, because I'm planting my garden outside based off of what Monty Don tells me to do. So that's literally the only show I've been watching other than knitting podcasts. I've been watching a lot of Needles at the Ready, the Burly Pearl, Grocery Girls, OBS Grocery Girls, Earth Tone Girls, And who else? I always love the Woolies. The Woolies are fantastic. Really, I really am inspired by them and their whole look. So that's always really fun to see that they have a new episode up. If you have a podcast recommendation, I would love to hear it below. Please comment. I finished reading a book. I finished reading, what's it called? Pleasure Activism. And it's The Politics of Feeling Good. And it was a very, very, very lovely read. Highly recommend it. However, I don't think that I was the intended audience, but I still enjoyed it. It was really, really good. My next book I'm reading is about abolition. I don't remember the title of it now, so I can't really share it, so I'm sorry. I didn't prepare for that. Ooh, another TV show. I guess I haven't just been watching Gardener's World. We've also been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is super good. We watched WandaVision, and I wasn't into WandaVision until episode 4, and I'm glad that I kept watching it. I'm glad that I've kept watching, like episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. It's very actiony, but it gets good. It gets very good, and I loved it. Anything else? No, I've just been kind of comfort watching Harry Potter. What's your movie that you watch when things are hard and the world is on fire, that provides you some level of comfort? For me, it's Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. That's my movie that I will watch over and over and over again. I feel like it's the best one. Fight me on it if you disagree. Or don't, because that'll hurt my feelings and I don't have the strength. Or you can. We'll just see what happens. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed seeing some of the items that I've been working on this last month and a half. I really enjoy the space. I'll try and come back more often, but I make 0 promises this time because last time I made promises and I just didn't keep them. But until next time, I hope you cast on. I hope it goes okay, and I hope you stay well. Bye.